Hello, tankers and gamers. We're back with another installment of I Can't Tank This. Tonight's installment, we have the FB214 Conqueror Mark 1 in the British Western Lines tech tree. It's an Air 2 Cold War, and unfortunately, it's World War II mentality trying to cut it in a more sophisticated age. And it shows. In fact, it kind of shows throughout the entire British Cold War tech tree up until you get into Era 3 and the Challengers. But what makes the Conqueror so special is A, the World War II variant is better, and if you have any experience with it, you will come in with a false sense of confidence. And the medium tanks that precede this in Cold War they have speed, they have turret armor to an extent, and that's about it. Alright, so before we get too far into this misery, now, like all British tanks, this one has a good gun. And the thing about the Conqueror Mark 1 in Cold War is you kind of got to treat it like the Carnarvon, the Tier 8 British tank, heavy tank in World War II, is get into position, get hull down, keep the gun firing. Which is great when you have tanks that can go average speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Which in the Conqueror here, the Mark 1, 45 kph is your usual top speed on flats. So you're basically the slowest tank in Era 2. Your armor is better than the Object 120, which I mentioned earlier. And it was the first I Can't Tank This video. It's got good accuracy. It does hit hard. But you don't want to trade. This is a definite sniper support type heavy, which is weird to say because of the World War II variant, which can do some brawling with some mediums, obviously lights, and maybe some heavies depending. Now you can certainly ram light tanks here, but with so many that can shoot missiles, ATGMs just love the Conqueror. It's another soft tank that once you're lit up and easily spotted, trust me, once you're lit up, you start sweating. Hell, if you know you're not in cover and you're moving across open terrain, you're sweating. Now, the FB4211 is if you ever play that before the Conqueror, you are gonna be in this for some shock when you swap tanks, because that has armor, that has a very good gun. It's just as slow, maybe a little faster, but yeah, it's an apples and orange right there. Alright, now here we were in a good position, but unfortunately we lost it because the tide turned, and, well, it was more like the tide was decided. So I didn't feel like dying on a hill, and if I can hit the Sheridans, that's great. But if I don't hit the Sheridans, then I have to pray the Sheridans don't hit me with their ATGMs. And that's the real downside to this tank, is any light tanks scare you, and any medium or heavy, they can hurt you so easily. You may be thinking, but it's got a big turret, it's got a thick turret, and in World War II mode, you'll bounce when you're hull down, that's for sure. Maybe do some wiggling. Oh god, it's the British tanks in Cold War are just so different from their World War II counterparts. There is, when you learn to play them, and that's the thing, you have to learn. You do need to have some skills, or else you're just going to put yourself in harm's way so often. Now, if you feel confident when you see a Conqueror on your team, let me know in the comments below. Here on Vineyards, I'm heading over to, the A line to try to get some ridgeline work done at that A5, A6 spot. But here, alright, I'm a little off. We can maybe do 50 on a hill. Alright, yay. But, surprise, surprise, I'm lit up. I'm detected. I'm trying to drive through a rock. And now I'm taking damage to my turret. Okay, it's broadside. It's a little flatter. Taking more because you're a big tank. You're a tall tank. It's almost like the FB 4005 kind of scenario of, gee, I thought that hill was tall. Turns out I was on. As you can see, I even had to stop and check to see the 2 shots that actually penned my turret, because I was. This is from. I've not had fully upgraded, but I'm still just like, seriously, nothing on my tank can protect me from incoming fire from a distance. Those shots came from at least halfway, if not farther, from the map. That's a problem with so many big guns. And we have German tanks now coming in. We got premium tanks that, just more guns to ventilate your tank. So this is a tank where I've learned to hope the enemy is detected before me. Don't push to the front. Hell, sometimes I don't even want to be in the middle of the push. I'd rather be in the back. Like, tank is the definition of a ridgeline queen. Just sit there, shoot, and hope you don't get shot. Popping smoke here because I gotta try to cover my advance. Because I'm trying to get in relocate, because, again, while I do want to stay protected and on a ridgeline, the more you fire, the more likely you are to be traced back to where you are. So here I am, taken on top of the hill, just trying to shoot what I can. Thankfully, the other team was worse than my team in this case, which is weird to say when you're in a Conqueror and saying, I really do need team support. You really don't want to get. You wish you had a wall of steel in front of you. The gun has a fast reload. It's good reload speed. But depending on which T-72 variant you're coming on, it's either, well, I can outshoot him DPM wise, but he can hit harder. And if he's taking longer to shoot than me, I'm really hoping he's not loading a missile, and if it's a T-72AV, you better know the weak spots in the front of that hull and turret. Because if you're bouncing shots at point blank range, you're done. So yes, this is, like I said, when this tank comes to this tank, you gotta know the weak points of your enemy, or else it could end you. And with true vision, and some of those small light tanks like the Sheridans or the BMPs, a missile from a long ways off can just end you. Alright, pushing into town. Obviously I'm confident here because we're winning. I have a team that's got my back, or got my front really. So now it's just try to get damage. Confident I can survive. Was going to go for a ram because I would have taken out that Scorpion, but I was just a little too far to the right. But look, like, when most tanks in Era 2 can comfortably get up to 60 kilometers per hour and you can't, it shows. You know, Circle of Death, like you saw earlier with those Sharons, there's no real way to counter it. And now, as we come to the conclusion, here's a little levity. Bye-bye, Mobat. Alright, everyone. I can't take the Conqueror. Like and subscribe. Let me know what tanks you can't tank in World of Tanks console. Alright. Hope to see you in the next one. Keep your treads on the ground.